Trustees for the Harris County Department of Education now convene in a board meeting on Wednesday, July 21st, 2020 in the boardroom at 6300 Irvington Boulevard at 1:11 p.m. I wish to extend a warm welcome to everyone present in this meeting of the Board of Trustees. As trustees, we are here to set goals, listen to reports from the superintendent, approve budgets, contracts, personnel appointments, and make policy for the district. It is not the role of the board to make day-to-day operational decisions. The management and day-to-day operations of the department are the responsibility of the superintendent. We have policies and procedures in place to resolve concerns and issues. This is a public meeting of the Board of Trustees, not a meeting of the public. Prior to this meeting, board members will receive information related to items on the agenda, today's agenda. Agenda items will not necessarily be handled in the order listed on the notice. The meeting is open to all who wish to attend and hear the matters discussed. During the course of this meeting, the board may determine that a closed session is necessary. In that event, the board will meet in closed session to consider matters duly posted for this meeting as permitted by section 551.007 to 551.0084, inclusive of the Texas Government Code. I respectfully ask that you please refrain from talking while others are speaking and that all cell phones are turned off or on the silent mode. Thank you for taking time today to join us and for your interest in the Harris County Department of Education. We are now in session. All right. So today we will have we have a lot of visitors today. So thank you for all coming. Today we will have the invocation from Jessica Bermia.
Good afternoon. Please bow your heads for the prayer. Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this day that you've given us, Lord. We thank you, Father God, that you give us wisdom and guidance and allow us, Heavenly Father, to serve others, serve our community, serve each other. We ask, Father God, that you allow us to make wise decisions. We ask, Father God, that you protect us and keep us all just healthy and safe during this time. We ask all these things in your name. Amen.
Amen. All right, so now we will move to the Pledge of Allegiance of the U.S. and the Texas flag, and this will be by our junior board members. So we have a lot of junior board members here today. So now can the junior board members make their way to the front? So all the junior board members that are here, make your way up to the podium. Yes. Yeah. Take your time. We're no rush. Come on in. All right, whenever y'all ready.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
All right. Now, junior board members, don't go anywhere because now we're about to swear you in. So we're about to have what's that? So y'all can. Yeah. So come on up here. We won't bite. Come on, buddy. Hey. Hey, buddy. All right,
Look, that baby have her mom.
All right.
That's right.
So for our junior board members, we have a couple of things we want to do. We're going to swear you in, and then we're going to have a resolution for you, all right? So everybody, all your junior board members, raise your hand, raise your right hand, and say I, and say your name. Do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of a junior board member for the Harris County Department of Education. So help me God. All right. So So what we have these resolutions for you. We have a resolution for on behalf of the department, and we also have goodie bags for everybody for your service today for the Board of Trustees. So everybody, let's get. I'm not sure how are we doing this. I guess we'll do bag by bag. So let's get everybody. I guess come grab a bag for your junior board members, and we're going to give them out. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, look up. Come on this. Yeah, open them up. Open it up. Open it up. Mm-hmm. All right. Once again, thank you all for joining board members. All right. So thank you to our junior board members. We will now move on to the public hearing portion of our budget. And by the way, if our junior board members, if anybody needs to go, sometimes you just feel free to leave as you feel please. So if anybody if you have other things to do, we understand. All right.
Are you saying I'm going to be boring?
What's that? Oh, I need to pass the rest.
We're gonna pay attention to them.
Oh, okay, my bad. Okay, sorry. Before you go though, hold on. We need to approve the resolution for the junior board members. Do we have a motion? It's been moved by trustee Dick and seconded by trustee Duhan. Okay. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Approved unanimously. All right. All right. Thank you, junior board members. We will now move on to the public hearing on HCDE's 2021 to 2022 budget.
The fiscal year 2021-2022 budget process started early November and December. So you see here the overall planning cycle. The total budget is $154,234,536. The general fund, $62.3 million in expenditures. Special revenue, $48.2. Debt service fund, $4.4 million, capital projects fund, $26.3 million, internal service fund, facilities, $6.2 million, and enterprise or choice partners, $6.6 million. We have general fund, special revenue, which are grants, debt service, capital projects, internal service fund, and enterprise fund. I'm going to go through just the overall items in the presentation. There are only 22 slides, but I'll be brief in each one of those. The $15 minimum wage increase in equity, $750,000, 2% for teacher salaries. Overall, $1,532,858. 1.5 music therapy positions, $133,254. Items continuing. At campaign, some revenues adjusted for the divisions, one-time retirement leave payments, $300,000 for Head Start support, in Barrett Station, 4.4 for debt service, and $35,000 for wellness program. Included in one-time expenditures are $380,000 of IT infrastructure, Start Reimagine, $320,087. $400,000 for the educational foundation on various projects for the new year, and maintenance projects, conference center, $741,000 that are maintenance projects, not capital projects, not in the capital improvement plan. I want to point out that the $400,000 for the foundation, those are on top of the $200,000 classroom project that's already been funded this year, so that's a separate new allocation for the new year. In terms of the total overall increase in compensation is $1,532,878, which includes a 2% salary increase and the $15 minimum starting salary. In terms of our inflows budget, projected $525 billion in property values. We're waiting for July the 23rd to receive the estimated certified values. We're currently proposing or recommending a 0.004993 current rate. Again, that will be adjusted depending on the values, depending on the truth in taxation calculations. We have a strong current collection rate of 99% of taxes. Choice increases in revenues are included. Grants that will receive additional for Head Start, the 11th cycle for CASE, and adult ed projects for the new year. There were no changes in workers' comp rates or internal service rates for the year. In terms of inflows, the makeup of the revenues include 37% for fees, 45% in property taxes, and this is only general fund. Indirect costs 5%, state funding 6%, TRS on behalf, 0.1% miscellaneous, and then transfers in from choice at 7% or $4 million, little over $4 million for projected for the new year. Expenditures, the majority is in payroll. 65% of our expenses are in payroll. 8% in contracted services. Supplies 4%, miscellaneous operating costs 13%, capital outlay 1%, and this moves very fast. 8% in transfers out. The transfers out include 5.4 to other projects like debt service or payments for bonds. The after-school program, $550,787. Head Start and Early Head Start, $600,000. Start Reimagine, and also the capital projects that are funded from fund balance, those one-time items. New positions for the new budget year is 1.5 for therapy. Adult ed, this keeps back. Four FTEs for adult ed grant, and 2 for Head Start. They're all grant funded or revenue funded. Capital projects for the year are $1,421,000, which includes capital outlay of $380,000, $300,000 for Barrett Station, and $741,000 for building upgrades for partitions and HVAC in the conference center. Capital One Phase 1, AB East is already funded and also already awarded, I should say, procured and awarded. Adult Ed and High Point East, in August you will see the approval of the method of procurement, and also projected for October to be awarded by the after the bids and proposals come in. So August will come to the board for those two. October will be after we receive the bids and proposals and approve the awarding at the October board meeting. 2 projects that are for the future, Equine Center and Workforce Development Center, and possibly some maintenance projects for 2023 and beyond. And so we'll look at those phase 2 down the road. Grants that are included in our budget, 48 million of those, which include the majority as Early Head Start, CASE after school, Adult Ed, and also other local grants. This is a history of the property values going back to 2016. And you can see back in 2021, at the very beginning of the year, it was 510 billion. We're projecting 525 billion. Based on that, we received from a very preliminary estimate that the values could be between 487 billion to 439 billion. So we're somewhere in the middle there at 525 billion at this time. The tax rate the last 5 years has gone down for the last 6 years. And the projection is that they will continue that, again, depending on the values, depending on what we see that in the next couple of days. This is an estimated tax rate for the year. Again, it's going to be dependent on the values. Once we receive those, we'll be able to plug that in and adjust that accordingly. The fund balance projected for 2022, at the end of 2022, would be about 17.75% or 2.1 months on fund balance. This is a very conservative number, so if we end up the year better, of course, these numbers will go up. The next target date is for us to approve, or for the board to approve the budget and get any comments from the public regarding the budget. Because we have federal funds, we have to have a public hearing.
All right, so now is the public, the open forum for the public hearing on the budget. If there's anybody who has any public comment on the proposed budget, now is the time to speak. Seeing none, we will move on to the next agenda item. Now is the open forum.
In the past, you brought the budget up to approve it at the same time, unless you want to wait until later on.
Okay. So is there? I'll now entertain a motion to approve the proposed budget.
So moved.
right, it's been moved by trustee Hinojosa. Okay, seconded by trustee Cantu.
Ms. Lengua, do they need to bring up the budget first?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna move agenda item 9A up to the,
Just quick question.
Mhm.
We saw another junior board member, is this out of order, just to at least give them that opportunity before they leave?
Yes.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
sure.
we could, I was gonna do that after.
Public hearings after, the public you need to close the public hearing.
Right.
And if whoever made the motion and seconded can rescind those motions, because it's not until 9A that this is actually on the agenda to approve.
So rescind those. Said it again?
Did somebody make a motion
To approve the agenda?
to-
Yes,
to approve the budget?
the budget, yes.
Yeah, it's not until 9A, so you can either move it up until now.
Okay,
That's
yes.
what you want to do, okay. And you want to bring it up is what you're, yes, please.
Okay, so the question becomes, by making the motion for it, was that not moving the budget? Was that not moving the agenda? Do we have to specifically?
You don't have to make, and if there's consensus among the board to move that agenda item up, you don't need a formal motion to do so.
Okay, is that fine with everybody?
Yes.
Okay, all right, so it's been moved that we approve the proposed budget item and move it up from 9A to the current time. And any discussion? All right, seeing none, yes. Seeing none, all in favor? Oh, you have a question? What's that? No, we already moved it up. Okay. So discussion, is there any discussion?
Dr. Amezcua, the proposed budget, does it require any adjustment to our current tax rate?
No, not
So-
at this time. Based on the projections, no.
Okay.
We'll need to find out what the values are, and we'll adjust it accordingly. Primarily, probably downward to the extent that the values go up higher.
Okay. So,
Because we have to calculate the no new revenue rate and also the voter approved rate to see what the proposed rate, and that's why August the 7th is important for us to do the calculations and then come back to the board to approve the proposal for the tax rate. Right now, it is estimated based on the current rate.
so it's technically not an increased budget, it's basically holding steady considering the tax rate?
Increased budget, yes, it is. The budget to budget, yes. But tax rate to tax rate, right now, the projected, no.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
So we're voting on the budget, not the tax rate, right?
Right, just the
So
budget,
We'll deal with the tax rate at.
September.
Okay.
Where are your kids?
Any other discussion on the approval of the budget? None, we'll move for a vote. All in favor? Pass unanimously.
Thank you.
And trustee Dick, were your kids able to come? So trustee Dick's children had a little bit, had a little issue getting here, so are they gonna come?
They came, we took pictures, they got their certificate, we're good. We're good. There's no reason to just keep moving on. Everyone's happy.
We wanted to make sure your kids got a chance to get a picture by your seat as well.
They got a picture with me outside, and we got some good pictures, and we got certificates. Everyone's happy.
All right.
Let's keep moving.
Well, let's clap, let's clap for them
Yes,
as
we
our
wanna clap
new grandparents.
All right. All right. We'll now move on to agenda item 6, the open forum. This is the chance for public participation pursuant to policy BED local. A citizen who wishes to speak may do so by completing a participation request card available at the boardroom at least 10 minutes prior to a regular board meeting. We now have one person that signed up, Mr. James Cottrell. Mr. Cottrell, you have your chance. You have a 5-minute cap, by the way.
Thank you. My name is James Cottrell. I am a shareholder at the law firm of Lisco and Lewis, and I am the newly elected chairman of the board of the Houston Urban Debate League. I am here today to express my gratitude to HCDE for your support of the Urban Debate League and to let you know about some of the great work that this board is supporting. As background, the Houston Urban Debate League was formed 13 years ago as a public-private partnership between HISD and Huddle to address a glaring issue. As of 2007, there was only one high school in HISD that allowed students to participate in interscholastic debate. Huddle was formed in an effort to provide economically disadvantaged students the opportunity to participate in that life-changing activity. HISD brought students interested in joining the debate team and coaches and teachers who were interested in sponsoring and mentoring the program. Huddle, through its board, of which I am now the chair, raises money from private sources with the goal of providing stipends for teachers and coaches who volunteer their times on weekend to sponsor debate programs, volunteer judges and paid coaches to participate and run our debate tournaments, scholarships to the winners and runners-up of every debate activity at our Huddle City Championships, which occur in February, postseason travel opportunities to those who win, and a free one-week summer debate institute at the University of Houston where students can come and learn and advance their debate skills. Now, after about a decade of working exclusively with HISD and with the support of Commissioner Cagle, Huddle entered into a new partnership with the Harris County Department of Education, beginning with a pilot year in 2017 and the first year from 2018 through 2019. In just these 4 short years we've been working together, we have made tremendous progress. With the help and leadership of Dr. Lisa Carruthers, who's here with us today, and Tony Candace, Javier Lopez, and Andy Stubbs, we now serve 15 different schools in 7 districts and 3 additional charter schools, for a total of 206 students this year. Now, what does it mean to have the opportunity to participate in debate? I used the word life-changing earlier, and I mean that in 2 ways, both in academic performance and in competitive opportunities. I myself am a former high school and college policy debater, and I have always known that competitive debate teaches me how to think critically, write persuasively, research complex public policy issues, and manage my time. I knew these skills prepared me for a career in the law. But we also now know that debate has a statistically significant impact on students' academic performance in a high school level within HISD. Just this summer, in a research study performed by Tomohiro Ko and Dr. Brianna Mezuk of the University of Michigan, the researchers reviewed over 35,000 HISD student records, including 1,145 debaters from HISD from 2012 to 2015. To account for the self-selection of high-performing students into debate, we controlled by comparing those students' 8th grade academic performance on STAR tests, and the results between people who participated in debate and those who did not were stark. By average, debaters had a GPA that was 0.66 points higher at the conclusion of their high school career. They scored 52 points better on their math SATs, 57 points better on their reading and writing SATs, and demonstrated a greater likelihood of meeting college readiness benchmarks, confirming what I myself have always known. Now, in addition to those academic benchmarks, the competitive opportunities that you have helped provide are force multipliers for all of those skills. Students who have never felt like they had a voice before to change and give their opinion now feel like they have the opportunity to do so in front of their peers and valued community members who are listening to their opinions. Just this year, students from CASE, supported by this board, were awarded almost $10,000 in scholarships coming out of the Huddle City Championships. And 2 CASE schools from Elsick High School and Spring Early College Academy won 1st and 2nd place in the World Debate Schools format. As you know, the team from Elsick High School, who is here with us today in the back row, went on to the NSDA National Championships and won the National Championship in World Schools Debate. Now, I would submit to you that Elsick's win demonstrates that CASE debate students can debate and win at the very highest level of this activity. and it will serve as an inspiration for other schools and students to join. None of this would be possible without your continued support. And for that, I'm here to express my external and eternal gratefulness that you have given us this opportunity. As the chairman of the board of directors of Huddle, my forward-looking goal is twofold. I want to make sure that every high school student in Harris County has the opportunity to join a debate team, and to make sure that the Harris County Department of Education and HISD make Huddle the best urban debate league in the country. None of that would be possible without your continued support. I look forward to working with you guys moving forward and to make that dream a reality and to ensure that everyone has a chance to debate, making their lives better in the process. Thank you so much for your time here today.
Mr. Cottrell?
May I say one thing? I just want to thank you for coming and expressing that to us. I think that the motivation that you are going to give this board for supporting more of those programs now is going to be immense. As a past speech and debate kid myself, I know what a difference it can make in their lives, and I appreciate y'all endlessly for coming and speaking out for helping other students in the future. Thank you so much.
Oh, can I ask for the kids to just give us their names? Is that?
It's actually, so the very next agenda item, we're about to actually recognize.
Okay.
So I know everybody is waiting to congratulate you, so we're going to move to that part of the agenda. We now move to the reports and presentations part, and the very first agenda item is the recognition of the case debates and national champions from the L6 High School. So can we get y'all to come on now, because we want to love on y'all a little bit.
All right.
All right, so we have from L6 High School students Anthony Hong, Diego Castillo, Ebenezer Apaya, and Rodrigo Trujillo. Okay, I should have practiced that beforehand. Obviously, I'm not the debater. These guys were, again, won not only at our city championships, but that sponsored by Huddle, but were able to go. Now, this tournament, the NSDA tournament, it is the Super Bowl of debate. They beat out 219 other teams. This is the largest debate tournament there is. So we are very excited to have them here today. And I was excited for them to hear Dr. Mesqua's presentation about how we use our tax rate to equalize opportunities, because I was fortunate enough to watch their debate, and they talked about equity inside their debate and how important it is for Huddle debate teams to be able to have access and compete at the level that they did. So they are also pushing forward and challenging the NSDA to make their fees equitable so that they can engage more participation. So they are advocates as well. So thank you.
President Norris, certainly we need to take a picture with these young men, but I would just say that to be able to make it to a national championship is one thing. To place even top 20 is another thing. To place top 3 is exceptional. Yeah. But to come out as the winner, look at you grinning, because you know what I'm saying is true. But to be the best in the entire United States, although you competed against 200s, there were thousands that wish they were there. And you were one of the thousands, and you came out number 1.
Yeah.
And so that's it.
There are 2 10th graders, 1 11th grader, and 1 12th grader. So some of these guys have just started.
Well, at this time, Mr. President, I'd ask if we could take a photo with these young men.
Yes. Since they're debaters, I'd love to hear from them.
Yeah, tell us who you are and what grade you're in and stuff like that. Let's hear
I've
it.
been told since I messed up your name so poorly, we want to make sure you
say your name properly.
Say it.
What grade you're in.
Let's not debate.
First.
Hello, everyone. I am Rodrigo Trujillo, and I am in 12th grade, or I am a rising college freshman, and I will be going to Bradley in Illinois this next year.
Very good.
Hello, I'm Diego Castillo. I'm about to be a rising senior at Elzick High School, obviously. Just want to take this chance really quickly to thank you all once again, because truly, if it wasn't for CASE, we wouldn't have access to so much competition, to so much coaching, to so much practice. We would never have won if it wasn't for all of the funding and all the support of y'all. So just really quick,
Yes,
thank you very
that's
much.
what I wanted.
Hello, Ebenezer Apaya. I am a rising junior, so I was one of those 10th graders, and we definitely do look forward to bringing another championship for CASE and for the Houston County Department of Education.
Hello, my name is Anthony. I'm a rising junior for Elsick High School, and I also want to thank the board for giving us this opportunity, for having a platform and make changes to the world. Thank you. Thank you.
Photo time. We're going to get a quick photo with board. If you come up. Come on up.
So that we can say we knew you win.
Come on, Coach. Come on, Coach 2. Tony, 2. Huddle.
All right, just kind of crowd in and fill the gaps and move over a little bit more. There we go. Yeah, you can't be in the back. There you go. All right, let me see. Okay, I can see everybody here. All right, this way, everybody, on 3. 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. And last one. Big smiles. 1, 2, 3. All right, one more. If you would move that way just a little bit, kind of in that gap, a little close. There you go. All right. All right, one more time. There we go, everybody. All right, 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Thank you, guys.
So they did receive plaques yesterday because Huddle took them out to a Japanese steakhouse, Huddle sponsored, and they did receive their beautiful plaques at that event. So that's why we don't have plaques today.
Awesome.
Before we move on, I want to say two things to the teams. I think to the debate, to our national champions, by the way. Two things. If I remember right, I think a couple of you guys got a chance to meet Dr. Freeman last year, if I remember right. Did you guys remember Dr. Freeman from Texas Southern? Any of you guys? Any of you guys part of that group? And the reason I bring that up, I don't know if you guys were there, but the reason I brought that up, because one of the reasons last year, I think it was 2 years ago, when we actually made sure that we tried to introduce Dr. Freeman. For those who don't know Dr. Freeman, he was Barbara Jordan's debate coach when she was at Texas Southern in the 50s, when TSU was just a couple years old. But the idea is the same. The idea was that Barbara Jordan was a young lady from Fifth Ward. And she would go on to Texas Southern. They would actually beat Harvard in that debate tournament after Texas Southern was only a few years old. And she would go on to be our congresswoman, represent, I think this is part of the 18th district as well. So to your point, I am very, there is a lot of pride in what you do. So I can continue to do what you do, because we look forward to seeing great things out of you, absolutely. As a board members, we're expecting great things out of you. Also, I would definitely want to brag to a lot of my friends who went to Elsick 20-something years before you all. They are going to really, they represent all the time. So I want to make sure that when you guys go out there, I let them know that Elsick is still representing very well. So congratulations again, young man. Continue to do great things, and we look forward to seeing all kind of greatness out of you. So thank you very much for your participation, and continue to do what you do. So thank you. So our next agenda item will be our superintendent's monthly report.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a few things to update everyone on. First, we've had 2 new hires this month. We had the privilege of hiring Mrs. Godfrey, who will be the new principal for Fortis High School. She brings over 20 years of experience in counseling and has worked in districts such as Humboldt, Clear Creek, and Goose Creek, I think. But really excited about her, and she's super excited about being the principal on that campus and has already had her mom on the campus walking it through with her, so we're fired up about her. Our next new hire has been Dr. Brunswick, who will be our new senior director of TLC. She did a really good job. Dr. Rogers took them through the gauntlet in the interview process, and so we're looking forward to her coming down, and she's coming from out of state. I believe she's coming from Chicago. My next item is something that we talked a little bit about in one of our subcommittee meetings earlier today. The board members were giving a thumb drive with a presentation for their presentations that they might do in the community, talking about the history and the service and the value that HCDE brings to citizens of Harris County. Certainly, if you don't have that thumb drive, we can get you one of those, but also we are able to provide you with handouts upon request. If you know you're going to go into an event and you need 20 or 30 handouts, we can certainly help you with that. Also, we plan on following up with some bullet points to help you with some additional highlights, so you'd have like 2 or 3 talking points per slide. So make sure if you didn't have a chance to attend that subcommittee meeting and you would like that, to get with me or Mrs. Clark, and we can certainly help you facilitate that. And our final thing is we have convocation coming up this next month. Last year was the first time we had to do convocation virtually, and because of COVID-19, but this year we're bringing it back in person. We're going to be doing it at the Berry Center, which is different than where we've done it in the past, but this is a very large venue where we're going to be able to exercise some social distancing and certainly meet the needs of our staff and try to keep them safe while we come back together for fellowship and just spending up for the new school year. As you know, in the past, we've typically have a theme with our convocations. We've done things like, R equals M times W. I know people may not remember that one, but that was the theory of battle by Carl von Clausewitz from 1776. We've done the realm of possibility, where we had a cartoon. We've done Get Siced. Some of y'all might know what siceness is, but the people who were able to attend that and actually get to meet my brother who shared the stage with me that year was really cool. And so this year we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm certainly going to be stepping out of my comfort zone big time, doing some things I never thought I would do. But our theme this year, Daniel, let's bring it up.
You're saying it?
I said our theme this year, Daniel, bring it up. I didn't say I was going to sing anything. Is Let's Rodeo. So as some of y'all know, we are venturing off into equine therapy. And so we decided we didn't have a rodeo, a Houston rodeo last year, so this is going to be our theme this year. We're going to do several special things during this convocation. We're going to really hope that all of our staff comes in their best Western gear. So we want you to get your giddy-ups on, get your cowboy hat and your boots and all your outfits on. We're even going to have a contest, and we're going to see who's got the best pair of cowgirl boots. Ms. Duhan, you don't have the pair? Well, you got time to get a pair. And so get your hat and all your Western gear. And so we're really fired up about it this year. It's going to be unique. It's going to be different. I'm not trying to give too much away, but we might have some special guests. And I'm going to try to get into some kind of Western attire a little bit. Anybody who knows me knows I'm from the East Coast, and I don't wear cowboy boots. I wear Timberlands. So I can't go with the cowboy boots. Y'all gonna have to. I'm still not there, and I'm certainly not at the Wrangler stage yet. but I'm gonna do my very urban best to do some type of Western gear, and I would really hope that we can inspire as many of the staff as possible to try to get into the theme this year. I think it's gonna be really fun. And so I look forward to having the board members attend. Like I said, this is gonna be August 20th. It's going to be at the Berry Center, and it's just a really good way every year to be able to kick off a new school year and get some momentum started. We have a lot to be proud of. We've had an incredible year last year, and we made it through most of this COVID thing with a little bit of style and class, and so I'm very proud of our staff. So that's all I have for now. Thank you, sir.
All right. All right. Any questions for Superintendent Colbert? And the next agenda item will be announcement of award from the Association of School Business Officials International, ASBO, for the HCDE 2020 Comprehensive Annual Fiscal Report, and this will be by Dr. Jesus Amezcua.
You have a copy of the award that we received. We haven't received the plaque yet, but this is the 2020 notice of Certificate of Excellence in Financial Reporting for Harris County Department of Ed. This is the 18th year that we received this recognition, and so we share that with the board today.
I'm sorry, how many years? You said 18?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, double digits? Okay, thank you.
In a row.
In a row, okay. Very good, thank you.
Thank you. The next
Sorry. We'll move on to the next agenda item, which is also by Dr. Jesus Amezcua, which is the annual division update on business services.
We're going to try to do both business and purchasing together, as to consolidate those. You have a presentation handout in front of you, which has the PowerPoint in front and then the reports attached to it. We have just a quick PowerPoint, and then we have a little bit of a video, and then we have some of the staff that are in a Zoom, so hopefully we'll be able to see them. We have a vacancy currently in the business office. Most of last year, 2020, was Ms. Barnett was with us at that time, but we have an open vacancy at this point in time. And we have, this is not the correct one. This is just a business. Sorry. Just let me combine. There it is. I knew. This is our business and purchasing office. Later on, we're going to see them on Zoom for a minute. So this is both the business and the purchasing office. We have Kendra Jackson, who's the purchasing director. We also have Stephanie Barnett, who right now currently vacant, is no longer with us, but 2020 that she was here for most of the year. Most of our service highlights, so we continue to have Zoom meetings to continue to have distance. We are part of best practice committees with CPAs. We include a fraud awareness award and also a risk assessment process that we bring to you. We're EDGAR compliant and a leader in the EDGAR space. We're 2021 Pinnacle Award winner. 648 attendings in School Finance Council. Because of virtual and Zoom last year, we actually had an increase in participants in the School Finance Council. We received 8 national awards, presentations at conferences, TASBO, and the key thing here is that we don't get management letter comments, and I don't think it's been about, 20-some years then we received any management letter comment, and knock on wood that we continue to do that every year. So we have a strong internal control structure, multiple awards, our unmodified opinion on our finances. We have 24 individual FTEs, or 3% of the total personnel force of the department, 1.8% of the total budget, excellent bond rating and financial indicators. What we did here is we included some performance ratios that you normally don't see every month, but these are kind of annualized type of ratios that you would normally do on a business. Debt to income ratio 6%, liquidity ratio strong 1.3, debt to asset ratio 75, return on assets 3%, return on equity 9% if you were to compare that to a business. Bonded debt per capital 3.4, property taxes per capital 3.4, debt service load 4%. All these indicators are within or below the benchmark at this time. Unassigned fund balance as of 2020, we're at 22%. Now we're projecting to be at 17%. In gross revenue, in other words, the profit, if you will, $3,003,565. That was for 2020. We also have some expenditures per capita, which is about $20 for the last 10 years. Tax rate supported, which is 1.94 per capita. Expenditures per capita by sector, 3.65 in terms of purchases per capita. Contracts by sector, we divide them into the different sectors, and these are all required by the controller's offices, and we publish those on our website. Key highlights that we mentioned, we continue to provide information and leadership on the School Finance Council and various committees and part of the TASBO and part of the EDGAR courses that we provide to the School Finance Council. Any questions that you may have? At this point in time, I'd like to play a little video. We had a little fun with our staff. Where do I click? Oh, that one? I can't hear it.
Afternoon. We have a few thank you notes for the superintendent and the board, and this is for our annual report. So we're going to have a couple of thank you cards and notes for you. So can I have some music, please?
It's Jimmy Fallon music.
Thank you, Board of Trustees, for your support and leadership and allowing to open our offices so we can get ice, tea, and coffee. Thank you. Our next thank you is, thank you, Superintendent Colbert, for your leadership and support in approving of our budget so we can continue with our taco protocol. Thank you. These are the thank you cards for this year, and we're going to now pass it along to all our staff that are going to be giving you highlights of our annual review for fiscal year 2020, 2021. And so I'll pass it on to you now. Here's a few snippets from our staff.
Each year, HCDE Accounts Payable processes over 11,000 transactions totaling over $17 million. Accounts Payable also processes $26 million in invoices every year.
Business Services has received 8 national awards consistently for the past 13 years.
During fiscal year 2020, purchasing processed 18 solicitations, 813 contracts, 301 vendor packets, 295 agenda items, and 1,966 purchase orders, with a total expenditure of over $20 million.
In fiscal year 1920, Harris County Department of Education Business Service Division had budget expenditures for $128 million for all funds.
Harris County Department of Education payroll processed over $45 million in 2020 for over 1,200 employees. And Harris County Department of Education Accounts Payable Department processed over 150 1099s totaling $6 million in the year 2020 for all vendors that we service.
My car is parked outside, I'm afraid it doesn't work. I'm looking for a partner, someone who gets things fixed. Ask yourself this question, do you want to be rich? I've got the brains, you've got the looks. Let's make lots of money. You've got the brawn, I've got the brains. Let's make lots of money.
I feel a TikTok coming soon.
Sorry, any questions for
Yes. Are there any questions for Dr. Mesqua? Superintendent Colbert?
I'd just like to say our business department does a fantastic job along with purchasing. They keep us safe and they keep the board safe. Y'all approve a lot of contracts through this board every single month, and it is with the skill and precision of our business practices that we have that allow y'all to be able to confidently approve these things moving forward. I would also say that our business department has proven to be agile throughout COVID and anything that comes up. Harvey, we've had a number of things that, you know, business along with HR and facilities, these are main pillars that any organization would lean on to try to navigate through some difficult times. And so Dr. Mesqua has a tremendous amount of very thorough practices and procedures, but he has shown the ability to be able to adjust those in a pinch when we need to get things done. So for that, I appreciate your group. Thank you.
So we will now, that's agenda item 7D and E. We will now move on to agenda item F, which would be other reports from board members concerning attendance or participation in board or HCDE-related conference, event, activity, or committee accolades for HCDE staff member or any other deserving person. Are there any from the board members? I have one. Was it last week? Last week, I actually got a chance to participate in the EcoBot Challenge. Actually, I served as a judge. So I would just like to, first of all, commend Dr. Keys, Dr. Carruthers. It was a phenomenal event. For those who never got a chance, for those who aren't familiar, basically the students had a chance, I think they had, like 4 to 6 weeks to put together a robot that had to commit certain functions. So they programmed the robot, and it had to go and do circles and stop on a dime and you know, go and turn around and go shovel. The one that was really tricky had to go shovel back all these pieces, and marbles start flying everywhere. But the kids at AB West, which for those who don't know, this is one of our all of our students there are special needs students. So all kind of potential challenges, and it went off without a hitch for the most part. I mean, it was completely. I was completely floored, and what I mentioned this on camera, that one of the things I was most floored by was that, you know, when you're having a problem with your robot, you have to stop on a dime and think about, okay, what am I doing wrong? It's a life skill. You have to make adjustments. So, I saw that several times with the kids having to make adjustments on the spot. One time, the kid's robot fell off the table and it fell apart a little bit. They had to put it back together real quick and keep competing within the time limit. So, all kind of great skills. I was just completely pleased. And in addition to just being a judge, for those who don't know, I have a STEM background. So I actually, Trustee Hinojosa and I, actually, her husband, Dr. Hinojosa in the back, we all went to school together and studied chemical engineering together. So STEM is always a big push for me. I love to see kids who are involved in STEM, because I think it engages a lot of skills So I was just completely, I think I said it then, but I want to say it again from the board. For the, since you guys didn't get a chance to make it, I just want to say it was an awesome event. So just know that it was done well. Robot Joe, he had nothing but great things to say. He had been working with the kids all for the most part during that period. Great event. So just want y'all to know that I did participate in that, and it was a great time. So. All right, so thank you very much, Dr. Keys, and thank you very much, Dr. Carruthers, so all those who helped put that event on. So thank you one more time. So. Indeed. All right, so we'll now move on to agenda item 7G, which are report from board committees. Any reports from any of the committee chairs? We had a couple committee meetings. Any updates that we need to have? Anybody want to make?
I'll just add that the board, we're looking forward to being very much involved in all of our communities that we have, and we're just excited, and thank you to the staff and Superintendent Colbert for your hard work and dedication to our kids and the county.
All right. All right. All right, so we will now move on to agenda item 7H, which are monthly financial reports from Dr. Amesqua.
Okay, the first is a financial highlights for June 30th, 2021. All our financials and information is posted on our website. The balance sheet as of June 30th, total assets of $43,049,018, liabilities of $2,412,539, and equity and appropriation of $43,049,018. The excess revenues over expenses as of June are $7,801,816. The fund balance as of June 30th, unadjusted, is $32,304,775, of which we have $7,801,016 excess as of that time, which will be used for the next 2 months to finish out the year. The ratios as of June 30th, which is 75%, 83% of the year lapse, 42% fund balance to expenditure ratios, pretty much in line of last year at 43%. Working capital ratio a little bit better at 41 million versus 37 million as of the same time. Unassigned fund balance ratio at 43% versus 52 at the beginning of last year. Debt to income ratio at 8%, a little bit higher than last year because we have the new bonds. And then the tax revenue to total revenue is at 29%. Indirect cost ratio holding up at 3%. Fee for service ratio 22% compared to 24% last year. And then some revenue growth ratio we're at minus 9% in terms of our fee structure. Budget amendments that we've had for the year, 125,204 in September to December, January to May 169,705, and June to July 225,000. As of June 30th, we are at 86% of the budget in terms of revenues. Overall, we're at 72% budget to actual. Our grants are usually lag one month, and so we're at 37%. Expenditure outflows, we're at 62%, which is good because 83% is the 10th month, so we're about almost 21% lower in terms of expenditures as of June 30th. So overall, budget to actual, we're at 53% in terms of overall budget to amounts encumbered and spent. Cumulative disaster relief, we received last month some additional funds from Health and Human Services, so the total amount for Head Start now is $2,793,350. Year-to-date expenditures at $696,349. So we still have available $2,097,001 for federal grants for Head Start. For general fund, we still have $937,579. Donations for the month were $396.94. Cumulative for the year are $53,047. We received some donations from Chick-fil-A and the Assistance League of Houston. This is a monthly update on values. We started with 511 billion. We're at 507 billion as of June. And so this is something that it hasn't happened in the past. This last year, that's the first time that we saw this. It's actually not everything gets certified, so we need to look at whenever we do the new projections that this number continues to be in the right direction and not be reduced at the beginning and then reduce it at the end of the year. The values are based on the revenue would be $24,771,910. That would be the tax levy. We've collected 99%, so that's a strong 99% collection. We only have 251,000 left to collect between July and August. We've paid to the tax office 525,000, and the appraisal district 180,902. Again, last year at the same time we were at 96.5, which was a concern for us this year, but we're beyond that. We're at 99% for the current year. We received a letter from the tax assessor collector that the fees for next year are going to be about $507,000, which is what we budgeted each year to pay for the tax office. We also included here, we closed on a property for Head Start for Coolwood, and wanted to include a notice of federal interest because while we own the property, the federal government has a federal interest on the property, so I just wanted to provide that notice to the board and the public that facility is a federally purchased property. Disbursements for the year are $4,418,902, 494 checks, 690 transactions, and 6 transfers. In terms of segment information, we have education certification at minus $344,648. Records management, they're lagging a little bit. That will be adjusted between now and August. $370,646. Therapy services at $1,183,757, and then the schools that are provided tax support at $3,165,980. Choice Partners is at a 70% ratio, or they are at $1,125,140 above the budget as of June 30th. So that's doing well for the year for Choice Partners. General Fund amendments, $61,778, and grants, additional grants of $1,695,500. The $61,778 in the General Fund, it's insurance proceeds for, if you recall, during the freeze, we had some items that were damaged due to the freeze at Sheffield Head Start, and so the insurance company reimbursed us $61,000, and so we're amending the budget so we can replace those items at the Head Start. We received some grant from the Texas Council for Development Disabilities for $7,500, and then also some additional grant for EcoBot for $1,000. And then we received the 21st Century, the 11th year for CASE, a new grant funding for $1,687,000, and that's for after-school program. Foundation update. We have $499,950 in equity in the foundation as of June 30th. Disbursements of $598,391. The detail is all included, and I've read in the past some of the payments. And out of those payments, $579,303 went to ISD grants. 18,800 were sponsorships. and scholarships none as of June 30th. As a matter of just information, we filed the Form 990 with the IRS as of July the 15th, so it was basically submitted within the time allowed for August 31st, 2020. So that's just the first page of the Form 990. It will be presented to the Foundation Board. PFC in the least revenue projects, we continue to include the small business program for construction in the procurements. ABE Schools was awarded and signed $12,358,000. Halpon East and Adult Ed are projected for August 2021 board meeting to approve the method of procurement, and the projected award is October 2021. Urban is pending assignment. The amounts available so far are $44,978,246 for all those 4 projects, and so we included this financial statement on the website by division as to how much is available in each one of the projects. This is the August 3rd, 2020 initial approval. The amounts that were funded from the capital improvement program. And as I mentioned, we closed on the Seaven property, and we're still waiting to finalize the other property for Coolwood, so that project can continue pending some review by the owner. Any questions regarding the financial highlights before I go into the investment report? Investment report. All our investments are in our investment pools. We have a total portfolio of $86,337,290. Public Facilities Corporation of $30,608,362. All our funds are separated by investment pool: Texas Glass, Texas Star, TexPool, Lone Star, and Chase. Total of $55,728,928 for the HCDE portfolio, and then the PFC portfolio for $30,608,362. In comparison to a year ago, we're 105% of a year ago, or a difference of $44,202,926, and that's because of the new bond program that was added this year. All our funds are overnight, and pretty much can be called from the investment pool at any time. Investments, $18,956 for the general fund, and the PFC, $5,850. Not earning a whole lot because of the interest rates being so low. And you see the progression still where they're at. Those rates haven't moved at all from the last 4 months, from 0.1 to 0.5. Any questions regarding the investments? Yes.
Dr. Mesqua, you mentioned that all of our funds, all our investments are overnight.
They're basically available available basically in 24 hours once we call them in.
Would we benefit by investing some of the funds in some methods that would not make them available overnight?
Yes, we would like to invest them, in 6 months, 3 months, and so on. But if interest rates were to change, then you'll be underwater. Basically means that you can have a loss. This is not the time to extend too much. In fact, keep it in short, so as rates rise, you rise with it. Eventually, we'd want to ladder that to where we can have it in 6, 9, 12 month horizon. But right now, if you wanted to go out 10 years, you would pick up 2 basis points. If you wanted to go out 6 months, you go out 1 basis point. If you stay overnight, you're at 1 basis point, so there's no incentive. It's like earning $10 for the whole year for that additional risk. right now is the risk is not worth to go out, 6 months or 12 months or 2 years. The way the investments are structured in the market, it doesn't pay you to go out longer. In fact, all you're doing is creating more risk for the funds. And
So if
there
the
will be
ra-
a point in time that we will do that.
if the rates were higher,
Yes, we would do that. You would see 6, 9, 12, and 2 years. Mhm.
Any other questions for Dr. Meskel? Seeing none, we will move on to the action item. We will move on to the action item, and we'll move to the consensus list of the action items. Are there any consensus items that any board member wants to move to the non-consensus part of the agenda? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consensus items on the. It's moved by Trustee Hinojosa. Is there a second?
Seconded.
Seconded by Trustee Duhan. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, raise your right hand. Passes unanimously. That'll now take us to the non-consensus part of the agenda, if I can get down to it. Yes. So now we'll move on to the non-consensus agenda, and we've already approved action item 9A, which was the adoption of the budget. So we'll now move on to agenda item 9B, which is consider approval of estimated reserve fund balance for non-spendable, restricted, committed, assigned, and unassigned. Is there a motion? It's been moved by Trustee Cantu. Is there a second? Seconded by Trustee Davis. Any discussion? Well, actually, can we get a little explanation real quick?
This is a resolution that we have requested the board approve so that we can identify, project and looking at how we're going to end up the year. Then you need to set aside those amounts by committed, assigned, and unassigned in the fund balance. And so we'll use that at the end of the year. Once we have any extra funds, we will place those in those categories. And this is an accounting requirement for year end by General Accepted Accounting Standards Board. And it's GASB 54 that requires us to do that.
All right. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, do so by raising your right hand. Passed unanimously. We'll now move on to action item 9C, which is considered the first reading of the following revised local policies. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not an action item. So that is just on. Okay. Is there any questions? So there's no motion or anything, right? So there's no motion for 9C. Any questions on 9C before moving on to?
Policy committee actually met yesterday to discuss.
That's right. So the policy committee meeting was yesterday for those who attended. So if there's and everybody should have been everybody who was not in attendance should have been emailed a copy of the policy. So if you have any questions,
And I just wanted to point out, Trustee Dick, your requested revision to DCD is in this version that's in front of you.
All right. So without motion, we just move. Okay. All right. So if there's no other discussion, we'll move on to 9D. And 9D is to consider approval of the memorandum of understanding between HCDE and the Education Foundation of Harris County for the Partners in Education Project.
So moved.
All right, it's been moved by Trustee Duhan, seconded by Trustee Cantu. Any discussion?
Yes. I just want to say thank you for all of the hard work that was put into this by our comms department mostly. And others, I'm sure, did a lot, but thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
All right. Yes, and thank you, Trustee Duhan, who has been advocating for those who don't know, Trustee Duhan has been advocating for teachers, and this agenda item has been the last several months of her saying, teachers need some supplies, so can we do something about that? So, yeah, Trustee Duhan, we thank you, and I'm sure a lot of teachers will be thanking you come, September or so, I guess this fall when this rolls out, and they start actually getting this money. So, thank you. Any other discussion? All right, seeing none, we'll move it for a vote. All in favor, do so by raising your right hand. Pass unanimously. Now to agenda item 9E, consider the approval for change order number 2 in the amount of $4,384.53 to Nash Industries contract for renovations to the existing LaPorte Head Start campus. Is there a motion?
So moved.
It's been moved by trustee Brown and seconded by trustee Cantu. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll move for a vote. All in favor? Do so by raising your hand. Passes unanimously. All right. We'll now move on to agenda item 9F. Consider approval of HCDE Early Head Start Child Care Partnerships contracts with the following vendors, and that's Community Partners Early Childhood Development Center, Successful Starters Learning Academy in the amount of $117,000. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Been moved by trustee Brown, seconded by trustee Cantu. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll move it for a vote. All in favor, do so by raising your right hand. Passes unanimously. And agenda item 9G, consider approval of consent to assignment of contracts by Trustee Capital Group to Hub International Limited. Vendor is part of the Cafeteria Plan 401A and 403B Administrator. Is there a motion? Been moved by trustee Cantu. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by trustee Brown. Any discussion? Yeah, can we get a quick explanation?
Sure, okay. So this is necessary because Trusted Capital Group, better known in the community as TCG, handles some of the cafeteria plans, and for particularly Superintendent Colbert's 401A and 403B plans under his contract. And TCG has merged with Hub International, and so this is just a document evidencing that that merger and that the contract will now be with Hub International.
Okay. Any other questions or discussions on action item 9G? Seeing none, we'll move for a vote. All in favor, do so by raising your right hand. Passes unanimously. All right, we'll now move on to executive session under the Texas Government Code pursuant to all and any and all purposes permitted by section 551.001 through 551.084, including but not limited to 551.071 and 551.074. We'll move to executive session at 2:33 p.m. Oh, all right. 2:30. We will now back from executive session. We will reconvene from executive session. I think number 12. So we have yes. Do we have any discussion and possible action regarding future agenda items? I will ask. I don't remember when we passed the policy for small business. We talked about. I know it was sometime last year. Was it like September or something like that? Yeah. I'm just wondering 1 year out. I think you mentioned that we were talking about, like, I just want to know what the demographic changes were, because for those who don't remember, I think it was the county did a study on minority contracts, and I think they found out that, like, there were very few. The percentage-wise, I think it was like, the county is like 20% African American, but it's like 0.5% African American contracts on the county. I think it was like maybe 0.1, like 1 or 2% Hispanic, even though the county is like 40% Hispanic. So I just remember last year, I remember asking, what are we doing in that regards, and that spawned into having a small business, working with our small business contract policy to making sure that we have it within those guidelines, and working on adjusting our small business. It was October?
October 2020.
October 2020 is when the board passed that policy.
Okay, so it's October 2020. I can remember. I knew we were coming up. I thought it might have been September. So maybe for the October meeting, we can see how we're doing. Demographic.
Just as a point of reference, and Rich, you can help me out here. We've included that as a criteria on our RFPs, and we did that with our new construction with AB East.
Right.
And that was actually a pretty big deciding factor. And so.
It was a big deciding factor with regards to points that were given to contractors. As a matter of fact, the contractor actually would have won the bid small business program based on the formulas.
And so what the companies are going to realize that if they're not utilizing these small companies and minority companies, that they're going to lose contracts. And these are some of the big general contractors, and that was the case in this situation. If it hadn't been for that criteria, we probably would have awarded that general contract to another company, a larger company, but they got little to no points. I think it was 0 for that specific element. So that was a byproduct of that discussion that we had back in 2020, and ultimately the revisions that we made to our procurement process.
Yeah, and for those who aren't familiar, so like small business programs, a lot of the minority women-owned businesses are small-owned businesses, and that's kind of the idea is that if you're the general contractor, who are you contracting the work out to? And I think that's the idea is that more contracts it would allow for more contracts to go to more people in the community. So I would just like an update on that. But it sounds like it's more for the October because that'll be like the year mark where that went into effect.
Well, the contractor that got the award,
Mhm.
they're using those small business, but I couldn't tell you right offhand what the demographics were with regards to the ones they chose with their subcontractors. So I don't know that right offhand.
And it's probably going to be a short report because, remember, the small business program only applies to construction contracts valued at, do you remember? I can look it up. Hold on. I got it right here.
That's right.
Yes, so let's see. $50,000 or more. It's not that as big as I thought. Anytime it's a construction project that's $50,000 or more, unless it's prohibited. So like that Coolwood Head Start project, we can't do it because it's federally funded. And so to date, I think the only project that it's been applied to is it's just ABS East. And so it would just be the statistics for that. But then as more and more of the projects
And
that
2 of
Dr.
them are
Amesco-
coming up in August,
Right.
that we're gonna
So
go
the-
out for bids for those 2.
Okay, when do we anticipate the bids will be back for those?
October.
So you might want to update maybe November.
Okay.
Yeah, by November, we should have a breakdown of 3 projects.
Okay.
Instead of just the one.
Right. Okay. That was the one thing I just knew. I knew we started talking about it sometime around this time, maybe last year, or maybe it was June or July of last year when we began the discussion, but I wasn't sure when that was coming up. I figured I'd just.
In addition to doing that, we've been with purchasing office, talking to chambers of commerce to promote with the Hispanic chamber, with the Asian chamber, with the African American chambers, to talk to them about participating in the program.
Okay.
So we have meetings set up with those chambers to provide some of that awareness.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds great. Sounds great. Okay. Thank you very much. Trustee Dick.
Yeah, I did have. Excuse me. I did have something that I think I wanted to talk about, maybe with future board meetings, is maybe we could review the policy that we have with speaking with our speakers and figuring out how to make it consistent with the policies for Harris County, with the county commissioners and the city of Houston, with the city council members and the mayor, where they're able to interact with public speakers, or at least ask questions, do that. I'm not sure if there's different notice requirements, but I'd hope that maybe the organization could at least show us what that would look like. You know, because I know I'm not the only one. I see other board members that are just biting on their lips, wanting to talk to people that are interacting with us. So just figuring out how we could do that, because it seems like it's possible. And you have Harris County doing it. You have, City of Houston doing it. I just want to see how we'd be able to do it.
So I'm hearing that we need to call another policy committee. Is that basically with the item that you have, President Norris, and then the item from Trustee Dick? Those would probably, there would be a more opportunity to have an open discussion probably in a subcommittee that's a policy committee versus an agenda item, a board agenda item. So Ms. Bartz will help facilitate that prior to the next board meeting.
Okay. All right. Any other discussion or any possible future items by any other board member? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved by Trustee Brown, is seconded by Trustee Davis. All right. All in favor, do so signify by raising your hand. Meeting is adjourned at 3:37 p.m.